First and foremost, cider is delicious. But what I'm really here to talk to you about is anxiety. And it's all Trip Hudgens' fault. If you don't know Trip, and you all know Trip, it's Trip's fault. Trip made a video about anxiety and abundant life, and the two of those meeting. And it seemed to me that Trip was kind of amused by the concept of anxiety and abundant life meeting head to head. And I kind of find it to be an obvious thing. So I thought I would throw my 2 cents in. And I first should say, for those of you that don't know, the concept of abundant life, or having abundant life, is a Christian biblical concept. There's I guess it's a quote from Jesus. I think it's something that Jesus is supposed to have said that is, it's something like, I came so that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. It's either you or they, I'm not sure, but he's referring to the people. So the idea of abundant life is biblical. It's a biblical thing. So I'm gonna kind of come at the concept of abundant life from a more secular point of view, because when I think of the phrase abundant life, it's kind of funny to me, because not really funny like haha funny, but amusing, because I think of it in as sort of the greatest contradiction of terms. It's a wonderful oxymoron, because abundance is this idea of having an excess of something. Having something in excess is having abundance. And to me, as a well, I'll get to that in a second, but in general, life is a very fleeting, in the grand scheme of things, very momentary thing. In the grand scheme of the universe, a human life is like a second. It's like nothing. In the hundreds of billions of years of existence of anything, a human life is nothing. It's dust in the wind. So the concept of of a single person having abundant life is amusing to me. And I feel like that in and of itself can be a source of anxiety. Like that giving you anxiety does not surprise me at all, and it gives me anxiety all the time. Because even if you believe in heaven, and even if you believe in an afterlife, and even if you believe in reincarnation, this life that you're living right now, this one, is the only one you're gonna get of this life. It's the only thing you get. If you believe in heaven, you go to heaven. That's a whole new thing. It's a whole new bag. This life is totally done, and that's a whole new thing that you're getting. And if you believe in reincarnation, you have no memory of this life that you've had. Your soul still exists in something else, somewhere else, doing something else. But you have no memory of this life. So this life is the only version of this life that you're ever going to get. And I feel like it's like it is the unbearable lightness of being, which is it's a book, but the concept of the lightness of being is that you only have one, and you cannot be weighed down with life because it is fleeting, and you only get one. And that, for me, gives me incredible anxiety. And I made a note I make notes in my iPhone all the time. I make notes about grocery lists, about shopping lists, about songs I want to download and people I want to see and things I want to do. And I also, if I have a thought that is impactful to me that I don't want to lose, I will make a note of it in my iPhone. And I have a note in my iPhone from May, from right after I went to Disney with my sister, that I didn't know what to do with. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was saving it. And I was kind of, thinking about, maybe talking about it in a video, and I think I was just waiting. This idea, this thing that I thought of was waiting for Trip's video. And what I wrote down is, there is a certain terror which accompanies any age, the fear of the passage of time, the regret of things left undone, the anticipation of things we have yet to accomplish. And I feel like that is my source of anxiety. That is my personal source of anxiety, is my own humanity and my own mortality. And it is exactly because of being someone who has an abundance of life. Like, because I am a privileged human being, you know, I have all of these choices and all of these options and all of this stuff available to me that I can do, but I only get to make that choice once. You know, the choice of what I get to do today and what I do tomorrow and what I do the day after that is I only get to make that choice for that day once, ever. And I feel like that is my source of anxiety. And I worry about it all the time. I worry about the choices that I'm making and the things that I'm doing and things that I purchase and people I see and conversations I have. I worry because it's the only chance I get to do that. I only get to do that once. And I get so panicky that maybe I'm doing the wrong thing or I'm not doing enough. And I try to pack as much of that abundance of life as I can into the one life that I get. And I feel like I'm so tapped into my mortality. I'm so attached to my mortality that's where my anxiety comes from. So yeah, I totally get, not in the same way that Tripp does, but I totally get anxiety caused by abundant life. Because as someone who is not, you know, Christian necessarily, who is not, you know, a very religious person, the concept of abundant life to me is completely different than the sort of like biblical concept of abundant life. And I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I have to say about anxiety. And I hope it was vaguely informative. I don't know. I feel like I just needed to touch on that topic because Tripp talked about, pathological anxiety and worrying that maybe you're pathologically anxious and maybe you're not. And I feel like being anxious and being aware of choices and being aware of wrong choices and that anxiety is just human nature. It's part of the human condition to be anxious about those kinds of things. So yeah, that's what I have to say, and I'm gonna go edit this now. Bye. This is my do not disturb sign.